Today's hearings will focus on CBO's new budget and economic outlook. Our witness today is the CBO Director, Doug Elmendorf. Director Elmendorf, welcome back to the committee. I want to take a moment to congratulate you on your reappointment that was formally made yesterday as CBO Director. That is a well-deserved recognition for your extraordinarily professional work. I just want to say the confidence that you enjoy on both sides of the aisle is a testimony to you and to the entire team at CBO. Over and over, you have demonstrated your independence. I might add, even when I had a proposal that was very important to me, you did not give it very good marks, and I think that demonstrates pretty clearly your independence. But that's healthy. That's what we need here. We need an independent scorekeeper who is going to give us their best assessment of the effect of the policies that are enacted by Congress. You have demonstrated, I believe, a very high degree of professionalism, as has your entire team at the Congressional Budget Office. You've been unbiased and a fair umpire, calling it like you see it. Your reappointment by a democratically controlled Senate and a Republican-controlled House speaks volumes of the trust and respect that you and your team have earned on both sides of the aisle. We look forward to your testimony here today. CBO's report should be a red light flashing to the nation. Our fiscal situation is serious and becoming more so. We are at a critical juncture. We're borrowing 40 cents of every dollar that we spend. Spending, as this chart indicates, is at its highest level as a share of the economy in more than 60 years. And revenue is at its lowest level as a share of the economy in more than 60 years. Let me just repeat that. Spending as a share of our national income is at the highest level in 60 years. Revenue as a share of our national income is at its lowest level in 60 years. No wonder that we are headed for the largest deficit ever. This is utterly unsustainable, and the sooner we address it, the sooner we come to grips with it, the better. This next chart depicts CBO's new 10-year baseline projections with additional policies added in. It shows that due to passage of the tax extension package and the slow pace of the economic recovery, CBO is now expecting to see deficits of more than $1 trillion a year continuing through at least 2012. It shows that deficits will then briefly fall before rising again as the bulk of the baby boom generation begins to retire and health care costs continue to climb. Under the same scenario, gross federal debt is expected to reach 100% of gross domestic product this year and continue rising. It is important to remember that many economists regard anything above the 90% threshold as a danger zone. And as disturbing as those near-term deficits and debt are, the long-term outlook is even more dire. It is the deteriorating long-term outlook that is the biggest threat to the country's long-term economic security. The warning signs are as clear as they can be. Earlier this month, two of the world's leading credit rating agencies, Moody's and S&P, warned again that rising U.S. debt could lead to America losing its AAA credit rating. If such a thing were to happen, it would be a very serious blow and could set off continuing tensions in the global financial markets. In his recent testimony before the Senate Budget Committee, Federal Reserve Chairman Bernanke called for a demonstration of political will to address the long-term fiscal imbalances. He stated, and I quote, "Nobody doubts the United States has the economic capacity to pay its bills. It's really a question, do we have the political will to do that? And demonstration of political will, that's what the markets are watching. Is the Congress and the public and the administration, are they able to demonstrate that they are serious and that they have enough willingness to work together to make progress? At the point where confidence is lost, you could see a relatively quick deterioration in financial conditions. That, again, all from the chairman of the Federal Reserve. I hope people are listening. We can't afford to wait until the markets lose confidence in the conduct of our financial affairs. We need to act, and we need to act this year. That doesn't mean we need to make steep cuts immediately. All of the bipartisan commissions that have come back with recommendations have recommended that we begin modestly because of the continuing economic weakness, but that we put in place a credible plan that convinces markets that we are going to get the result that is required. Enacting such a plan now, according to the chairman of the Federal Reserve and others, would reassure the markets and help boost our near-term economy. I believe the deficit and debt reduction plan assembled by the President's Fiscal Commission provides one way forward. And I want to emphasize, I supported the Commission report. I did so proudly. Things in it I don't like, but that's really not the point. The Fiscal Commission came back with a plan that 11 of the 18 commissioners supported, 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans, 1 independent, and I can tell you it's not very popular, certainly by the phone calls I've received and the letters I've received. We understand that, but it's necessary. It would reduce the debt by some $4 trillion over the next 10 years, and it would get us on a path that would take us back from the brink and do so in a very important way. The Commission plan was also important because it showed how to reduce the deficit and debt in a balanced way. It included substantial cuts in discretionary spending. It included entitlement reform. It included tax reform that broadened the base and lowered rates to help America be more competitive. If you focus only on non-defense discretionary spending, the cuts will have to be so draconian that they will simply not be sustainable. That's my judgment. Tax reform that raises revenue also, I believe, must be part of the plan. The result of this balanced approach was to get the deficit and the debt first stabilized and then over time to bring it down quite sharply. To solve the long-term challenge, it will require real compromise and a great deal of political will. We need everyone at the table, and that includes the President of the United States. And we need to have both sides, Democrat and Republicans, willing to move off their fixed positions and find common ground. We can't continue to put this off. We need to reach an agreement this year. It is time for the administration and members on both sides in Congress to come together to get this done.